Welcome back to some more Corpse Party Blood Drive. Anyway, let's play. Chapter 6, Book of Shadows.
死ぬまくん、私のこと探してるかな。一度戻った方がいいかな。でも、柱の解放も急がなきゃいけないことだし。
We can already save the game there, which is kind of crazy. Oh, shit. Whoa, what the? The August Cube began reacting on something.
あそこに柱があるの?
Move, bitch. Ain't nobody got time for that.
見ちゃダメ。あの子死ぬよ。
What's so funny? Remove the cloth? Don't remove the cloth. I think we'll remove it. I slowly remove the cloth covering the object. What I found beneath it was, by all appearances, just an ordinary mirror. Nothing but my own reflection stared back at me. I stared into the glass, thumb founded, as a shadowy figure in the black dress appeared right behind me, shrouded in an eerie mist. The figure held the hatchet in the right hand and was raising it into the air to strike. Step away from the mirror. Try shaking off Sachi. My neck split open from the phantom impact and blood spurred out. So they don't even let you read all the options. Dude, I was still reading the options there. From the corner of my eye, I could see Sachi in the mirror, swinging her hatchet down at me again, and despite my best efforts, I couldn't move a muscle to dodge. She continued to hack at me again and again. Whenever the hatchet struck me in the mirror, the wounds grew bigger in reality. This was the most definitely and not an illusion. In the next instant, my vision spun 360 degrees, my head corkscrewing closer and closer to the floor. I heard and felt a loud thud, following a painful roll, until I finally came to rest. I now had a perfect view of the ceiling. From behind me, I could hear the sound of blood gashing into the air and gaping the hole above my neck. I only had a few seconds of sight left before my consciousness would fade completely, and in those seconds, my sight was already beginning to blur. But just as the darkness was beginning to set in, someone approached my head, crouched down beside it, and stared directly into my failing eyes. It was Nakashima, drenched in blood, with a satisfying look on her face. Why? I tried with every ounce of will left in my body to get even just a single word out, but in there would never be any movement or sound from any part of me ever again. In what was to be my very last moment of life, Nakashima's face removed itself from the line of vision, and then briefly I saw her chew coming towards me. There was a spinning sensation for a split second, and then finally, unceremoniously, I was gone. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, you could give like 10 seconds at least so people can read, you know? Let people be able to read at least what they're doing, dude. Honestly. So I took a hit from one of the guys, even though they were not even close to me. That's just fucking fantastic. The game is starting to feel like AIDS in this episode. And we barely started. So the right answer is triangle. So I can't just tap X the whole time. Use an item. August Cube. My reflection, moving independently, held her hand towards the mirror, as if to say, give it here. Half an instinct and half of pure supposition. I motioned like a hanging Argus cube to this over me. Suddenly, something fell out of my hand onto the floor with a substantial clang. I bent down to look a little more closely at it. I found it to be crystal glimmering with pure light. And as with other pillar crystals, this light was emanating from within the stone itself. There was no mistaking it. Pick up the base. She literally just did that. The fifth pillar is the base. It is the mirror pillar, which sees through everything. I glanced back at the mirror, and again, as anticipated, Sachi was no longer visible. Only I was reflected. But just then, one of the ghosts farted. The nearby window began to rattle and groan. At the corner of my eye, I could see several black crows fly past outside. When I turned to look, found the number to the well more than expected. It was nothing but crows, as far as the eye could see. In the very center of a dark, mostly empty room, I patiently sat on a sofa with my legs crossed. I must have looked like a king of darkness, with a smug grin on my face and a glass of fine red wine in my hand. My goblet, if you will. I pulled a stone from my pocket. It was the same design as the Argus cube I'd given Ayumi, though it had a different glow to it.
お守りなんかじゃねえ。これでずっとアーガスしてるんだよ。歩み。なんで気づかねえかな。
Goodness, breathe, bro.
さてと、それじゃあ、宴の準備を始めるとするか。俺のブックオブシャドウズの受け皿を仕上げないとな。
ゆかち、 なんなのここ。
さつきちゃん、私から離れちゃダメだよ。離れたらもう会えなくなっちゃう。
そんなのやだよ。ゆかち、うちらずっと一緒でし
お待たせ、ゆかちゃん。
ずいぶん長いしっこだったね。何してたの？
お兄ちゃんはどこですか？
どうも見失ってしまったようだ。行こう、ゆかちゃん。一緒にお兄ちゃんを探そう。
はい。
ゆかち、こいつ絶対怪しいよ。気を許しちゃダメだよ。
What is this music though?
お兄ちゃん、どこ？
There was no response to her call.
ゆかち、大丈夫だよ。兄くん、きっと見つかるって。ねえ、ここ何なわけ？どんな手品使ったの？一度気を失ったんだけど、私ら。あんたさ、うさんくさいっつうか、なんか企んでるオーラ出まくり。
Satsuki's tone was harsh, though it felt forced enough that I could tell there was some modicum of anxiety behind it.
こんな廃校に連れ込んで、ひどいことする気じゃないでしょうね。
I just kept my mouth shut. There was no point in saying anything. This person wasn't worth the effort. It behooved me just to keep walking and hope she'd shut up.
さつきちゃん、
That face though.
ああ、ごめん。なんかエネルギー切れちゃってさ。ゆかちも食べる？
ゆかは大丈夫。いつも不思議に思うんだけど、どこにポテチしまってるの？
私のスカートの中には常に各種のポテチが想定されてるのさ。おすすめは幸せのバター味。おいしい。
You guys seem to be scared out of her gourd when we arrived, but if nothing else, this Satsuki's girl's weird behavior seemed to have broken her out of her shell a little.
確かこっちに。
Oh no. From somewhere in the distance, we could hear an upbeat, almost carnival-esque tune playing very loudly. The sound of which is accompanied by the crunch of Satsuki's potato chips, which seem to be still busily chomping away at. This sure is something else. Yuki's munch.
ゆかち、なんで知ってんの？
実はあ、ゆかちもポテチ食べる？ありがとう、さつきちゃん。でも今はいい。
Honestly, dude, we need to get rid of this music. So we're heading straight there right now. Oopsie. Dude, it's so loud, dude. There was nothing but a gaping hole in the middle of the gym.
ねえ、サトシくんいないじゃん。本当にここにいんの？ここどこ？
じゃあ
I made sure it didn't show on my face, but I was not happy with the twerp one bit.
またまたご冗談を。珍しいね。ゆかちが怪談話だなんて。
Just don't leave my side, Satsuki. It's dangerous. うん。Thank goodness.
深い穴。この廃校超やばいんじゃないの？ちょっと力入れただけで崩れちゃいそうだよ。ここ相当ボロいっしょ。
Don't do it, bro. She was really trying my patience. I began positioning myself behind her very slowly.
ミストさん、お兄ちゃん、ここにもいないみたいです。
わかった。次へ行こうか。
At least his freaking music stopped, bro.
少し疲れたみたいだね。大丈夫？水でも飲むかい？ゆかちゃん。
ゆか、大丈夫です。私もらうわ。
Goodness, dude.
よく飲むな。
やっと口聞いたね、あたしと。ポテチで塩分取りすぎるからちゃんと水も飲めってお母さんがいつもうるさくてさ。
お母さんか。お前の家はいい両親か？
さあね、放任主義イコール自由の提供って意味ならいい親なんじゃない？
そうか。捨てとけってか。
男だろ。つうか自分から手を出して殻を受け取ろうとするぐらいのジェントルが欲しいわね、ゆかち。聞いてなかったでしょ。
Okay, it's not that way. Take it nice and slow, dude. We don't know where Ghost is. We don't know where enemies is hiding.
どうしたの、さつきちゃん。水飲みすぎた。ダメだ。膀胱マックスだわ。ポンポンペインだわ。
What's up with this game and peeing? Oh, there's a ghost. You guys see it right on top of the screen. There's also a wire there. Yeah, I saw you. There's another one.
知りたいかい？このネハントコアの入れ物、新ブックオブシャドウズの持ち主だからさ。まだ予定だけどね。よしきー！お兄さんの声か。急いだ方が良さそうだ。
What a weird laugh, dude.
めっちゃ出た。ティッシュ持っててよかったよ。あれ？やめてよ。ゆかちどこ？何？下行ったの？待ってゆかち。
Oh, snap. I wanted to save. Oh, shit. Satsuki's throat began to convulse. She no longer able to form words. She could only moan. Blood began flowing through her what dude, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Esophagus and dribbling down her chin.
ジェンタル。
Oh my goodness.
顎が割れちまったか。首も曲がってるな。まだ中学生なのに、かわいそうだな。隠しといてやるよ。今のお前は醜すぎて見るに耐えない。汚ねえ顔だ。
I took the pocket tissues from Satsuki's hand and placed 2 sheets over her face. They soaked through with blood almost immediately, turning practically invisible in the process.
もうおやすみ。どんなに生意気で無駄に抵抗する人間でも、死んでただの物体となった瞬間、静かで可愛い存在となる。お前も可愛くなれるよ。
You just picked up the bottle again. Her breathing became more and more erratic as her body rocked with convulsion. The last thing she'd hear before departing this moral coil would likely be my footsteps as I walked down the stairs away from her. So cute, dude.
苦しいよ。
ゆか。
お兄ちゃん。ミストさん。
お兄ちゃんは死んだ。
What?
お兄ちゃんはね、残念ながら幸の呪いに勝てなかった。ほら、あそこを見なよ。
On the floor where he was pointing, there was a mass of organic matter. The only identifiable elements remaining on the clump of meat were a tuft of black hair and tattered bloody remains of what used to be white shirt.
それがお兄ちゃんだ。
嘘だよ。
すまない。助けられなかった。最後まで君の名前を呼んでいたよ。
お兄ちゃん大丈夫だって。昨日優香に言ったもん。お兄ちゃん。
ああ。ちなみに、さつきちゃんもいなくなったよ。俺がね、蹴り殺したんだ。ほら。
Look at her face.
階段から蹴り落としたらよ。顎がばっくり割れてさ。ヒューヒュー言ってたよ。あのあどけない中学生。
And that's why you never talk to strangers. What a nice life lesson we have within this part.
これだ。これだよ。俺が求めてたのは。さすが天神小機関車。霊力のオーラが半端ねえな。
どうしてこんなことするの。
さあ、どうしてだろうな。ここに連れてきたのは、そうだな。お前には利用価値があるからだ。持田聡、てめえの妹。もらうぞ。あとはあゆみ、お前との共同作業を残すのみだ。
最後の柱はどこにあるのかしら。
That's a bell. There were no bells at Heavenly Host before. Could it have something to do with the final pillar of doom? It could be, but is it? So let's go. None of this, Mabri. Why are you swinging it? Some loose cabinets are scattered around the inside of the cabinet. Okay. Candies. There we go. They seem to have been there for a long time. as they look and smell oddly moist and are surrounded by various bugs. There's something inside the cabinet. Staircase key obtained, my buddy. The bell sounds a lot closer now. Is it above me? One way to find out. Second wing, a spiral staircase of doom.
以前の天神症にはなかった場所だわ。
I climbed along the winding staircase and snaked its way up the walls of the tower, and I hugged the walls the whole time. The entire spiral area was wide open. Nothing but trickery old guard rail between me and the very, very long fall. As I climbed higher and higher, the Argus Cube's light began to blink more and more intently.
やっぱりこの上にあるんだ。高いな。
Soundedly, the bell rang louder and clearer than ever before, with such intense, unavoidable force that I was completely frozen in my tracks and instantly in pain. The same sound had been heard multiple times since arriving in Nirvana, but this was the first time it had been so overbearing. Even with fingers in my ears continued to pulsate, resonating with the incredible noise. The sound was too all-encompassing to black out, present even with when absent.
鼓膜が破れちゃう。
I braced myself to the next toll, expecting it to be the end, but it didn't come to a tough. The ringing never quite left my ears. It did slowly begin to abate, if only slightly. Guys, she's just dancing to the music. Look at her, man.
怖いよ。大きな音やめてほしい。
Well, only one way to find out, though.
西風。今何か声？気のせいかな。
I could have sworn that was unmistakable voice of Sachiko as Tsunezaki.
Kaita, こんなに疲れるなんて。
Of course, stairs is tiring. What the heck? I use the staircase key. Magari grabbed the now primal beast-like Azusa by the hair and pinned her down.
おとなしくしろ、このビッチが。こいつが私よりも力が強いとかマジウケんですけど。まあ現世に連れ帰ったところでこれじゃうちの幹部になんてつけるわけないし。しんどくせえ。あ？
A tall shrine with a bell could be seen from the window, and from the peak there was 6 columns of light stretching upward.
歩み まさかあいつ本当に全部集めたんじゃバカか
At long last, I reached the top of there was the 6th pillar in my horrifying glory. Holy, what is this, dude? It looked like some bizarre growth coming from the roof, composed entirely of long dead corpses. I observed it in honor, mouth agape, as flattering. Winged insects scraped up against my ear canal. All the corpses' neck had red, ceremonial-looking markings. Emblazoned upon them. The 6th and final pillar is the crown, and with the sight it was. I closed my eyes and reached out to try touching the markings on one of the corpses' necks.
何してるやめろそれ以上柱を刺激するなまたあなたねもう邪魔しないでやめろ
もらうぞ
As she screamed, Masuto leaped in from nowhere and snatched the water pillar crystal, Mercy, from Agari's chest before she had any idea what's happening.
あっけねえなマルトゥバのマガリさんよ
Mitsuto looked on in a sick pleasure, sticking his tongue out playfully as Magari plummeted to certain doom. Satisfied, he then turned his attention towards the final pillar, which had just finished unleashing. The light began to shine even brighter. I could only watch stunned and squinching as a new spectacle unfolded before me. There was a powerful blast of wind, and then the pillar crumbled. Unbeknownst to me, the pillar had crumbled as well. The entire school rumbled and shook beneath our feet. Suddenly, the entire Nirvana was blackened with impenetrable darkness. It's as if the whole place vanished, only to be replaced with an empty void. I could sense that I was crouched on the ground, clutching my forehead. I slowly raised my line of sight up, and faintest hint of glow catching my attention. Above me, I could see the sky, though it was muted, distorted, and discolored, as if being filtered through a warped purple veil. It looked a bit like the aurora borealis. A few moments passed in relative silence, only for the stillness to be broken by a sound echoing from the sky above. It was reminiscent of ice cracking on the surface of a lake. Their scenery that lay before me was like something out of a dream. Even then, after everything I'd been through, I had a tough time believing it was real.
何が起こったの？
Then there, another sound directly in front of me. I'd best describe it as a mass of metal collapsing to the ground. I turned my head down slightly and saw it looked like a piece of limestone with the eerie white glow. This was, I knew, the crystallized power of the final pillar.
これはこの柱の結晶だわ。
Crown obtained. I pick it up, and almost immediately, Misuto tossed the stone I'd taken from Marguerite over to me.
あゆみ、今までの結晶を全部出せ。
やっと会えたのに、そういうのって。
ごたくはいらねえ。いいから早く出して全部合わせてみよう。
もう。
There was too much at stake for me to dwell on this. Begrudgingly, as instructed, I took out the other crystals out of my pocket and fit them together into a single object. They snapped into place, snugly, and with one final bright light, fused inseparably. The result was more or less a round crystal with a black sheen, reminiscent of hematite. This, I would learn, was called Kabbalah Dogra, and I was now complete. It was now complete.
これでサチを倒してみんなを生き返らせられるのね。
やったな。
Misuto flashed me a wry smile, but then...
愛子さん、よかった。無事だったのね。あゆみちゃん、聞いて。私、あなたに謝らなきゃいけない。
Her clothes had been burned in several spots, the skin underneath now black, with ash or red with blood.
あれは保健室。助かったわ。やけどの処置をできないかしら。サチのあの日は霊か。水では消えないただの火じゃなかったけれど、逆にそのおかげで大麻の護符を持っていた私は軽傷で助かったってところかしら。でも肌を結構やけどしたわ。消毒しておかないと。消毒。
I leaned against the wall and smirked in spite of myself.
生き延びる気でいるの私。帰る術を失った今、ほんの少し生き延びてどうなるの。無敵の情報屋が笑っちゃうわね。ここの恐ろしさも知らずにのこのこやってきて、こんなやけどまで負って。
I let myself slide down the wall until I was sitting Then I stared out of the window, defeated and alone.
お姉ちゃん、また会えるのは半年後くらいなんて言っちゃったっけ。これじゃ次いつ会えるか。会えないわよね。
I looked down at the floor and breathed a deep sigh.
なほちゃんとさやかちゃん、春雪くんのいるこの学校で運命を共に。それが私の定めなら受け入れるわ。
I stood up and placed my hand in the infirmary door.
死ぬまで抗ってやるけれど、少しでも生き延びるわ。
When I opened the door, what I saw chilled me to my core. This was not a school infirmary. This was a clinic from Yoshi's room.
何これ、天神小学校じゃない。
There was a person sitting at the desk. Her face wasn't visible from the back, but her identity seemed clear.
間違いないわ。これ水木まがりの横下資料にあった篠崎義恵のせいか。診療所だわ。だとしたらあれは篠崎義恵。
The nurse was writing something in presumably her journal and was so focused on the task that she remained oblivious of everything else around her. Or at least she seemed oblivious. If she did notice me, she didn't care. She just kept on writing.
私がバカだった。今はこうして幸子が涅槃を飲み込んでくれたからかりそめの平穏が訪れているが、幸子が天寿を全うした後はどうなってしまうのだろうか。アナグラムの解析を進めると、この本に書かれている術は全て実体の伴わない理論でしかなかった。成功例に関する文献も全く存在しない。私はなんと愚かなことをしてしまったのだろう。最初から成功しないものに心血を注いでいたなんて。
成功しない。ええ、あなたは成功しないものに救いを求めていたのよ。篠崎義恵自身がそう言っていたの？そんな、みんなが生き返るって聞いたから、私のしたことって。
I began to shudder, and my voice was going hoarse. Had I made the same mistake twice? Gone after a way to undo things only to make them far, far worse? Aiko could see how much this revelation was affecting me, and bit her lip. She seemed like she's finally succumbed to her own conscience. Conscience?
私も本当は半信半疑というか信じていなかった。ごめんなさい。私は自分の欲望のためにあなたをここへ誘導した。あなたいなくなった友達に会いたかったから、もう一度声が聞きたかったから。
And the other guy is just standing there like, okay, you guys can keep talking. That's fine. This was like a new Aiko. Bearing it all as opposed to hardening her heart like she always had. She wanted friends. And she'd finally made some. Now all she wanted to do was cherish them. Tears streamed down her cheeks faster than she could react to them. She quickly gave up, wiping them away, electing instead to look down and hide her face in her hands.
愛子さん。
ご苦労。
Before I could even realize it, Mutsuto had snatched the Kabbalah Dogra from my hand with a calculated precision.
何をするの？
ご苦労ご苦労
あなた。
人なんぞ生き返らねえよ。常識で考えろ。頭ん中はお花畑か？
Masuto's condemnation and contempt seemed to have even greater effect on Aiko than on me. Her face was racked with guilt and sadness. I was starting to share her expression. However, as the implications of her actions began to dawn on me, I fell backward onto a sitting position on the ground.
そもそもあの本はな、破壊が目的の本なんだよ。再生の書物ではない。本に認められれば強力な力が手に入る。それをてめえは、なくしたたと？ったく、使えねえ女だな。だが、そんなクズなてめえでも、有効利用してやったんだ。感謝しな。これこそ、魔女どもの英知の結晶。歩み、てめえが失った本の中身だ。これさえあれば。新しいブックオブシャドウズを作ることができるんだよ。
Mitsuto inserted the Navara's crystal into the depression in his book.
側なんてものは所詮入れ物だ。じいさんの残したこの写本で。
A sharp tone rang out, and the entire area was quickly bathed in extraordinary light, black as night, yet bright as a noonday sun.
来た涅槃が拡大するぞ。
何よ、あれ。
見ろよあれ、すげえだろ。
The sky had what looked like a giant gunshot in it, with a spider-webbed cracks projecting outward from it, and the gunshot was now growing into a full-on gaping hole. And inside the hole, an upside-down view of the real world was clearly visible. It was night time, so everything was a little dark, but it was absolutely identifiably the world we knew. And in that world, small black grain-like objects began emanating from the floating orb. clustering like locusts and dancing across the sky.
先生見て
The fissure of the sky, we could see nighttime scenery from the real world.
なんだよあれ。まさかここって。
Do you know when it's nighttime somewhere, it's daytime somewhere else? No? Okay.
驚いたね。どうやらこの場所は現世から空に見えていた黒い球体の内部みたいだね。
ってことは現実世界に天神師匠がすでに現れていたってことですか。
そうなるね。恐ろしいことだわ。かろうじて両者を隔てていた壁がこのまま壊れてしまって死後の空間と現世が融合しちゃったら世界がどんなことになるのか想像もつかない。あっちの金のある塔の方が光ってる。行こう先生。サトシ、岸沼も。ええ。
ああ。よしき、行くぞ。篠崎、どこ行っちまったんだよ。くそ。
新ブック・オブ・シャドウズ。この本で涅槃の力を得た俺は幸の力をも凌駕する。
だったらその力で幸を止めて。今も呪いを振りまいてるんでしょ。世界を救ってよ。それが結晶を集めた私たちの目的でしょ。
やだね。花からどうだっていいんだよ。世界も幸もくだらねえ。この本を作るためにお前を動かしたんだからよ。
やっぱり騙したのね。
うん、騙した。
I was clenching my fist so hard that scrawny arms were quivering. Try as I might to think up a response. There were just no words for this. All I could do was glare.
恨んだって構わねえぜ。だがもう手遅れだ。あの空のひびを見ろ。終わりの到来だ。現実世界は今ついに涅槃に侵食を許した。これで世界はじわじわと混沌に包まれて死の世界となる。楽しいぜ。みんな狂ってさ。篠崎あゆみ、お前はいい働きをした。お前がバカだったおかげで俺の望みが叶いそうだぜ。そういう意味では最高にイケてる死の女神といったところか。
腐りきってるこいつ。
これで俺は
Goodness, dude.
あなたの望みって何なの。
復讐に決まってんだろ。
Masito slowly turned around, revealing a startlingly cold and expressionless face. Yet, even if his features had no depth, his eyes shone with an almost cartoonish malevolence. He had quite literally become an embodiment of pure evil. From a spot in the real world that was clearly visible to us through the fissure in the sky, a large black monolith-like pillar suddenly sprouted out from the ground.
膨張した涅槃の力がここじゃ収まりきれず向こうの世界に飛び出したか。エンティティウォールだ。ほら、もっと力を見せてみろ涅槃。お前を制する者は誰だ？俺だよ。
He pounded the book, and just like that, another entity wall formed. This time it spawned beneath the freeway, punching and utterly destroying it, scattering countless of cars and bikes every which way, if there were toys.
愚民どもね、俺の正義を見せてやるぞ。ヤゴーラは死なずだ。
あゆみちゃん、あなたなんか信じた私がバカだった。
はあな、そのアーガスキューブでずーっとお前は監視されてたんだ。そう、例えるならお前は俺の忠実な操り人形だ。この涅槃の力を結晶化できるのは篠崎の血を引くお前だけ。仕方ねえから俺の代わりに涅槃のパワーを集めさせてやったのさ。しかしこうも一気に現世と涅槃がつながるとはな。
嘘つき、みんな生き返るって言ったじゃない。
そうギャーギャー騒ぐんじゃねえよ。これで新しい黒の本が完成する。つまりお前を篠崎家の責務から解放してやろうってんだぜ。この本で涅槃の力をコントロールする。ブック・オブ・シャドウズの力を継承するのはマルトゥバでもお前ら篠崎家でもない、この俺だ。
誰が継承するかどうでもいい。でもあなたみたいな人にそんなもの渡せない。返して。お姉ちゃんが悲しむわ。
バカが、死んだ人間が悲しむもんかよ。
そんな言い方。まさか日の絵お姉ちゃんとのことも嘘なの。
Mitsuto flinched slightly. I seemed to have struck a nerve. Though how deeply the nerve ran, I couldn't say. He recovered quickly, but still.
てめえの知ったことか。何しバカな女だったよ。バカな妹のために簡単に全てを捨てて命まで差し出しやがったんだからな。
My tear glands twitched in pain. Every negative emotion came flooding through me at once. I wanted to pounce on this man. I wanted to wring his neck. I wanted him to die.
てめえはもう用済みだ。お前のせいで世界の破滅が早まったんだ。せいぜい自分の罪を悔いて死ね。
All those deaths were on me. All the suffering, the pain, the fear. It was all caused by me.
情けだ。日の絵のとこに送ってやるよ。死んだけー。
あゆみちゃん。
逃げろ、篠崎。
Oh, we got stabbed in the chest.
岸田君。
離れろ。こいつは狂ってる。
Wonder why he ran in front of the sword. I would have just like run WWE kick his face, you know? Hopefully it goes off the ledge.
言ってくれるじゃねえか。え？見た顔だな。パンピー。誰だっけお前。
やめて岸沼くん、危ないよ。
いいからお前は離れてろ。
その人の言う通りかもしれない。私が余計なことばっかりしてるから。鈴本さんやゆい先生たちも、お姉ちゃんも、みんな私のせいで。私なんか生まれてこなければよかったんだよ。
Goodness. I tried to scream those words, but my voice was so hoarse that they came out almost as a squeak. I crouched down and buried my face in my hands at this point, and in doing so, I failed to notice the sudden appearance of none other than Sachiko, red dress and all.
篠崎、お前そうじゃねえ、そうじゃねえだろが。みんなもっと幸せになれって、よくなれってした願いがよ。なんだって踏みにじられなきゃいけねえんだ。騙される方じゃねえ、騙す方が悪いに決まってんだよ。辛いなら何とでも言ってやるぞ。お前は何も悪くねえ。よしき、いいんちゃう。篠崎さん。
ねえさん、内田くん、みんなどうしてここに。
Masuto ceased trying to wrestle with Mishinuma, instead making a grand sweeping motion with his hand.
No!
I felt like I was covered in a thin film of snot and tears by this point, but I put on the most intimidating face I could manage and tried to stare Masuto down. He didn't stop to stare back, though it certainly wasn't due to intimidation.
お前は何も残せなかった。
やめろ！何なんだお前は！
てめえが持田聡か。
Bro, I don't get this. We're like outnumber him by 10. You can't look everywhere at the same time. He's not the Matrix, is he? Everyone just kick at the same time, dude. All directions. You know what I'm saying? In that moment, he knew. The entire space shook violently, moving every which way beneath our feet. As this occurred, a massive, virtually indescribable object floated into existence behind us.
すごいな。7番目の柱、知識のセフィラだ。俺のブックオブシャドウズの力に反応して現れやがった。
何よあれ。
歩み、終わりだ。この崩壊の柱があれば日々どころじゃねえ。壁を全部壊して涅槃と現世を融合できる。お前なんだその腹。
There was a light emitting from my stomach, but as soon as I caught a glimpse of it, it disappeared.
よーし、派手に現世と涅槃の壁を壊すとするか。この天神賞ごとな。犠牲になれ歩み。それと庭クオン。
私を知っているの？
当然だろう。有名な天才だ。お前は医療も超自然学も技術において全体の水準を底上げした人間。
Moshida, Nakashima, and Kishinuma all turned their heads at me at once, looked at Kuon, jaws slightly agape. The three of them had no knowledge of any of this, so all they could do was stare in disbelief.
だが、その才能のせいで、お前の親も妹も堕落して、このざまだがな。
やめて！そんなことない！
さて、まあ、涅槃のコアが見つからないのが気になるが、校舎を潰してから後で探せば見つかるだろう。それで、神聖ブックオブシャドウズは完成だ。
Scorn looked down at her everlasting stones, but the spirit meter she'd attached them to still wasn't showing a full charge.
ダメだわ。
いい子だ。グッバイ。
どうしよう。
Stop. I try to stop.
いけない。止めるの。
I will stop you.
え？なんだこれは。
That was the most desperate cry I've yet heard from Aiko.
愛ちゃん！お願い！殺さないで！お姉ちゃんは関係ないでしょ！愛ちゃん。
しゃらくせ！
愛ちゃん！
What the heck? Just as Kuon screamed, a giant hellish beast sprawled right before our eyes. On front... Dude, what was that thing, dude? On the front of it was an enormous mouth. It made the beeline straight for Aiko and passed right through her body. Something not unlike black smoke coiled around it. For a moment, it roared like a dinosaur. It roared like a human, actually. Twisted its body to and fro. Then flew over the guarding rail and exited the scene. Or exited the scene, sorry. The only thing it left behind was Aiko's body without a head. What the... Wrong end. She remained upright and split for a split second, then tumbled lifelessly over the railing into the pit. As if on cue, the entire school began to shake violently. So violently that that not a single one of us could keep our balance. This was well beyond another earthquake we'd ever experienced at the heavenly host to date. The shaking eventually died down, but things looked a lot different when it did. The sky above us was now blood red, with a certain sections here and there bursting into black flame.
ってことで、さらばだ、ギニーピッグ。
愛ちゃん、なんてこと。
先生。
涅槃は、この学校は崩壊するわ。
先生、帰る方法は？
幸せの石はまだ戻れるほどの霊力をチャージできていないの。これから数時間はかかっちゃう。そんな。
I was slumbered over, crying my eyes out. As this conversation unfolded, Miss Kuan looked over at me. However, I saw everything else. A girl in a red dress, standing directly behind me, Sachiko.
あなた一人なら助かるかもしれない。篠崎幸子があなたについている。彼女の意志に耳を貸す。いや。
I objected strongly for obvious reasons, but I knew she was right. At least about the possession. I could sense Sachiko behind me. I could see her now too, but for everyone else present, Miss Kuan was the only other that could.
嫌です。先生、私もみんなと一緒に。厳しいことを言うけれど、その涙にもし本当に責任を感じているのなら、あなたは生き延びてこの世の先を見なきゃいけないわ。そして守るの、これを。生きる道があるのに死を選ぶのはただの諦め、逃げることなんだよ。やだ。時間がないわ、行くの。やだ。
So emotional, honestly. I was absolutely inconsolable. But Miss Kuon just smiled. She stood behind me and patted Sachiko on the head. Sachiko responsible for much of the pain and torment. We now looked for all the world like a pure, innocent, lost little girl. Reacting to this new stimulus, Sachiko closed one eye and turned her head towards Miss Kuan, a satisfying expression on her face.
お願いね。ばかりかけて。この上私だけ助かるなんて。
I had no conscious desire to go along with this, yet it seemed I was. Rather, like it or not, everything around me began glowing white and my body was lifting off the ground.
強くなりなさい。
She really was so much like Miss Yui. Below me, I could see Mishida shielding Nakashima from falling debris while staring at my rapidly ascending body. Kashinuma had stood back up by now and was watching me as well. As an instant, the turbulent fates of Mishida, Nokushima, okay, everyone that's there, all came to the close as the four of them were distantly and unmistakably crushed before my eyes. Are you kidding me? Wrong end? My vision warped, my memories jumbled. And then there was just the sky that hung above the real world, above our world. The black orb was there, and it was swelling up bigger and bigger, almost like a fetus rapidly gestating them to term. It quickly grew too big to be contained and burst open. Strands of black energy shot out in all directions, and the eternity of the night sky was dyed an eerie reddish black. The Nirvana had now broken free of its bounds, and it wasted no time pulling the real world into its embrace. How does this continue on from here? Like, honestly, dude. Like, it's the world is done. It's gone. Like, I don't understand this. Like, how is that not the end of the game, right? Are we gonna like discover time travel and fix whatever we did wrong? I don't even know. But there is it, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, smash that like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.